Welcome to the iNLP Center. Thanks for joining us. In this video we're going to talk about love strategies and learn, I'm going to give you some ideas of how to figure out your own love strategy and contemplate what your partner's love strategy is. It's important to know because your partner's love strategy may not be similar to your own, although it's so easy to assume that everyone understands the world the way we do, right? That's not necessarily the case. Love strategy, we're going to address the question, what is required in order for you to feel romantic love? In other words, what has to happen? And we're going to use the NLP VAK model, so visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. Kinesthetic being feeling. So what has to happen? Is it something you see? Is it something you hear? Or is it something that you feel? So here are some examples. Visual things, people who receive love and typically give love through the visual modality, like demonstrations of love. So my wife happens to be this way. She likes visual demonstrations of my love for her. So when I bring her things like flowers or presents or thoughtful gifts, when I do things that she has visual evidence for, so when I clean the house, when I straighten up, when I look nice, what have you, these are visual demonstrations of love for her. Then there's auditory demonstrations. Mostly that comes through saying the words, I love you, and in a certain tone of voice. But there are other wonderful things that you can say to your partner and things that can be said to you that in the auditory that are often very important for people to hear. And then there's the kinesthetic, and we're not talking about the emotion of love or the feeling we get as the result. We're talking about the demonstration of love. So kinesthetic people like to be touched. So sitting close, hugging, holding hands, and so forth, that physical connection is what allows the feeling of love. Everybody has a love strategy. And so think about yours. Think about the last time that you felt love from your partner or from anyone in a romantic situation, and ask yourself the question, what was absolutely necessary in order for you to feel love? Was it something you saw, something you heard, or something that you physically felt? If you had to pick one of those three things, which is it? And we could divide people up in a third, a third, a third. A lot of people have to see something. A lot of people have to hear those words. There's no substitute. You can do anything you want to do, but if you don't say those words to me, then I don't feel loved. And a lot of people have to be touched in some way in order to really have that feeling of love. Again, my wife likes the visual. I'm kinesthetic, so the touch is really important. So here's what happens. If I go I enter the relationship with my wife assuming that she likes hugs and she likes to be close and she likes all of those things, but she doesn't need them in order to feel love. They don't mean as much to her as they mean to me. And in fact, if she's not seeing the physical evidence of it, she's not getting a certain need met. Well, I didn't realize that going into the relationship. So I had to learn over time, wow, if I'm giving her lots of hugs because that's the way that I receive love, she may be feeling smothered. Why are you always so close to me? Why are you, I need a little bit more space. So now I know that if I really want her to feel loved, I do something for her. She knows that if she really wants me to feel loved, she touches me. And that's the way it works out. We don't have the auditory strategy, although we do add that in quite a bit. It just isn't what really does it for either one of us. Everybody's a little bit different. What's required for you? The last time that you felt love, what was absolutely required? And think about your partner. What was required? Or if you're going into a relationship or contemplating a relationship, bear in mind, everybody has a different strategy for arriving at the experience of love. Don't assume that your partner's strategy is yours. It may or may not be. Figure out your partner's strategy and deliver love in that way. And that's the love strategy. This is what awareness of the VAK model, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic models in NLP has to do with. It's why it's so valuable to learn, because we all process information through these three modalities, and they're so strikingly different from each other. The awareness of the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic model shines a light, there's a visual term, shines a light on things, illuminates things that you were previously unaware of, and really gives some very, very useful information. So there's your NLP Love Strategies tip for today. Use it wisely, and we're so glad to have you subscribe to the iNLP newsletter. We hope that you find a lot of good stuff from it. All right, thanks.